Do you dream of owning a home golf simulator, but you're not too sure about how to design or plan your room? Well, my name's Mitch, and since 2020, I've built multiple home golf simulator rooms and helped hundreds of other golfers build theirs using my online course, one-to-one consultations, and through my YouTube videos. Now, one of the biggest struggles that golfers face when planning their home golf simulator is knowing where everything is supposed to go. So how far away should the impact screen be away from the wall? Where does the hitting mat go? Where do you put your lighting or your projector or your electrical sockets? Now in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I turned this small garage into a pro-level golf studio, covering all of the layout essentials so you can build your own setup, play world-class virtual courses, and even lower your handicap, all from the comfort of your own home. The first thing that you need to do is to sketch out a layout of your room and also put the dimensions of the length or the depth and the width of your room on there too. So as you can see in this diagram, the depth or the length of my room was 5 meters and the width was only 2.4 meters. So it's a very small space, but it was still big enough to fit a golf simulator in, as you'll see. Now, this is a Google Slides document and it's completely editable, as you will see as I go through this video and this process, and you can download this. I will put a link to it in the description below this video for you to download so you can use it to plan and adjust your own golf simulator room. Then you need to decide where you're going to put your impact screen. So which wall are you going to put it on? Now in my room, I put it over here onto this back wall. And a question that I get asked a lot is how far away from this back wall should your impact screen be? And the answer is 12 inches. Now you can go closer to the wall. Some people I know have gone about 6 inches away from the back wall, and some people like to be a bit more on the safe side and they go more towards 18 inches. But in my experience and from speaking with all the professional companies, the most common distance away from the back wall for your impact screen is 12 inches. After that, we've got our hitting mat. So whereabouts would you like to put that? Now, the most common sense place to put the hitting mat would of course be in the very center of your room. However, when you've got a space that is narrow, and I'm talking like 3 meters or less, then the likelihood is if you put your hitting mat in the center of your room, you are going to then not be able to swing all the clubs in your bag, because as you swing, your clubs are going to be hitting this wall that is behind you. So for this space, it was very important that I put the hitting mat slightly towards the side, and we call that an offset. And all it means is that you're hitting more from one side of the room and you're going to be hitting into one side of your impact screen. Now that might sound not very good, but it's absolutely fine because most golf simulator softwares allow you to offset the center line so it looks like you are hitting directly towards the hole from the perspective that you are at in that particular room, and it's absolutely fine. Now, another very common question is how far away should the hitting mat be from your impact screen? Should it be really close? Should it be really far away? And the simple answer is it should be somewhere between 7 to 10 feet. Now, if you've got a large room or a long room that's more than 5 meters in length, then you can probably go to 10 feet. However, in this room, because 10 feet would have been quite close to the back of the room, then I went closer to the impact screen, and the safest distance that I could swing my golf clubs without hitting the impact screen or any of the side protection was about 7 feet. So now our room is starting to take shape. We've got our impact screen that's 12 inches away from the back wall, and we've got our hitting mat that's 7 feet away from the impact screen and with a slight offset to one side of the room. one mistake that a lot of people make is they don't consider where they're going to put all of their electrical outlets before they start building their room, and then they have to run long extension leads all the way around the room, and it can make it look very untidy and very unprofessional. So ideally what you want to do before you start installing anything in your golf simulator, get an electrician round and put the electrical sockets in these positions that I'm going to tell you. Now, first up, we're going to need plenty of electrical outlets for your computer and your PC and even your launch monitor. And the most common place that they would go is along the right-hand side of the room here. And usually you would take your shot from your hitting mat, and then you could nip over to your computer and you can toggle around with anything that you need to do there. So the most common place for your computer to go, like I say, is over here. And it's not just a computer, you're going to need your TV up here or your monitor, that needs to be plugged in as well. It's just a good idea to have quite a few electrical sockets over this side of your room. Then we're going to need at least one more socket on the ceiling, somewhere above your hitting mat or in the center of the room. And this socket is going to be for your projector. Because again, we don't want any very long leads running around into different electrical sockets that are not in the right positions. So it doesn't particularly matter whereabouts you put these on the ceiling. You might want to put them just behind your hitting mat like I've put here. You might want to put them a little bit in front of your hitting mat, off to the side. It kind of depends on where your projector is going to be positioned, and I'll show you that in a moment. Now, you may have noticed these little rectangular things underneath the electrical outlets. Now, these are HDMI connections. So it's a very wise idea to get a HDMI connection up with onto your ceiling, so you can plug a HDMI lead from your projector into there, and that links up to the same HDMI socket that is next to your computer. So again, you can just plug a short HDMI lead from your computer into your wall, and it all links up, and it just saves you having very long HDMI cords that are going all around your room in order to connect the projector to your PC. Now, in this room, I had a couple more sockets on the back wall. Now, that was just in case I wanted to put any swing cameras. I never did that at the time, but it's always a good option to have maybe a couple of sockets at the back, or you could even put some sockets behind your impact screen if you wanted some surround sound in there as well. But in this case, I just had a couple of sockets at the back. Next up, we have to talk about lighting, because we don't want light to be shining onto our impact screen and fading the image that we get from our projector. So there was a certain type of light that I got in this simulator room, and I think they're just called down lights. Now, these are the lights that just obviously point down, but you can adjust them and you can twist the direction in which they shine. So ideally, you would put one set of lights on one side of your hitting mat, pointing down towards where you're hitting from, and also on the other side as well. So we had a set of lights just on one side of the hitting mat, set of lights on the other. They're both pointing down towards your hitting mat, so there's no light shining towards your impact screen and ruining the image that you'll be getting from the projector. Now, one final thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the position of the projector. And the reason I haven't mentioned that is because it all depends on what projector you get. Now, the safest place to put your projector is actually directly above your hitting mat. Mount it onto the ceiling, and because of the arc of your golf swing, the club doesn't actually go anywhere near the projector. Now, in this particular case, I actually offset the projector slightly to the side. That was just because I had very low ceilings and it just didn't feel right with having the projector directly above me. So like I say, I offset it to the side. I think it was ever so slightly behind me just to fill the impact screen. And there you go, that's basically it. That's how you lay out a home golf simulator room in a very small garage. Like I mentioned earlier, you can download this Google Slides document so that you can play around with it yourself. You can change the dimensions of the room. You can drag and drop the components wherever you would like to put them. And you can get a link to this in the description below. Now, this is actually included as well in my online course about how to build a complete home golf simulator setup. This is just the very start of the course. The rest of it goes into much more detail detail about which launch monitors to buy, how to buy the right impact screen and the hitting mat, the best projectors, what to look for in PCs and everything else. So if that's something you're interested in, then there's also a link to that online course in the description below, just underneath the link to this Google Slides document. Now, this is of course how I set up a golf simulator in a very small room. Now, soon I'm going to release another video showing you how I planned a much bigger golf simulator room, just in case you're thinking, oh, I've got more space than that, Mitch, so how do I set it up ideally? So I'm going to release a video very similar to this one, but just documenting how I did it for a much bigger space. Also, if you would like to submit your room layout, your room dimensions for me on this channel, then I will have a go at designing and planning your golf simulator room for you as part of a video. Now, there's a link to a Google form that you can fill out in the description below if this is something that you are interested in. So go on, set me a challenge and we'll see if I can plan your golf simulator room for you to get you well on your way to lowering your handicap and playing recreations of world famous courses from the comfort of your own home. And if you want to learn more about how to build a golf simulator, then check out the video that's on the screen right now. Subscribe to Handicap Golf, like this video, and I will hopefully see you again soon in a moment.